in our minds.
他眼睛对焦都撇掉的。Hello， 大家，这里是小雨。今天我们要来玩 Tangle Tower 啦。然后昨天的话去找了 Felix 跟 Flora。那我们今天去找一下那个 Pointer 教授，这样应该就把这里所有人都找完了吧？可是我不知道他会在哪里，塔顶吗？而且我昨天后来发现没有那个 Felix 跟 Flora 的房间呢。天文塔找到了。这个 Pointer 教授在干嘛？摇动他的屁股。
Shh, listen. Do you hear them?
你听到了吗？
The stars. They're whispering. So quiet and yet so loud.
What are they whispering
他
about?
们在说什么呢？
Are they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance. We are but specks of dust, you and I.
Could the speck of dust start by telling me his name?
You find yourself standing in the astronomy tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Seems like this tower belongs to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality, as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
他眼睛对焦都撇掉的。他看起来就很怪啊，超诡异的。我们先调查一下附近，再一次问他好了。
It's a chart of the solar system.
是一个太阳系的
Which
星
planet are you from, Sally?
照
A picture
片
frame.
With no picture.
里面没有相片的一个相框。
It's tidier than my desk.
以我的书
The
桌
notebook
整
is
洁，
untouched. It's
空
completely
白的笔
blank.
记本
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
上面
Yeah, it's too cloudy to see
天
any
气太
stars
阴了，
right
看不
now.
到星星。重点现在是白天吧？现在怎么可以看得到星星？
It's also daytime.
这个
Trinkets.
小玩意
They're
儿
clearly gizmos.
是一些小发明。
What is
这
it?
个是什么啊？
It's clearly some kind of large device.
大型设备
You're。not wrong.
这个呢？
You know, I've always wanted one of those.
有一个这
A
个太阳系
mechanical
的机械
solar
装置。
system? What would you do with it?
I would look at it.
看着它，看着它干嘛？
Wait a minute. Earth in the middle, sun on the outside.
地球在中间，太阳在外
How
面。
old is this thing?
哦，这个是要怎样？不是很懂这个的概念，知道干嘛？
So there are two ways to move the shadows. Rotate the planets and rotate the sun and
哦，
moon.
旋转行星或者是旋转太阳可以。哦，原来这个可以旋转。哦，好。哦，照着这个形状把它对齐吧。好难哦，比想象中难。这样子吧。哦，是这样子，这样没错，
I got it.
明白了，
impressed.
相当出色。
Did
之
you
后
hear
什么
that?
呢？
Something unlocked.
有东西
There's a
解
little
锁
hatch
了。
underneath. What's in there?
A bunch
密
of
室
paper.
吗？哦，不
Looks
是，
like somebody's
Realize-
research.
研究研究金甲虫哎，哦，金甲虫各种研究笔记和图表。金甲虫因为其外骨骼而得名，大约90% 类似黄金的矿物组成，寿命为数年。它会发出巨大的嘶嘶声。好，巨大的嘶嘶声，该不会它是那个吧？奇怪的叫声的来源吧？记录超过95分贝，造成捕食者完全无法消化。借以抵御捕食者。有种不可靠的传言指出，看到这种神秘的生物会招来厄运。
There's something about Hawkshaw's handheld microscope.
下的手持显微镜怪怪的。
Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
等一下去吧，我们先来问一下他。你
Me?
自己，
Not much to say.
他头上很像戴一个
Strictly
房子还是
speaking,
什么
I'm
的
the
书在
current
头上
head of the
的。
Pointer family. And of course,
严格
father to
来
my
说
precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh no, that's just a little
哲学家，
hobby.
兴趣。
I mean, yes, I've studied the stars for over
这还不是天文学家吗？
35 years, published 17 books.
Just a little hobby.
Sounds like you're quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh dear me, no. My
Oh,
field
dear
of
me,
research
no.
has never yielded any kind of stable financial return. Nor would I expect it to. I am nothing but a
宇宙的
humble
一个
interpreter
卑微
for
的
the
玄学家。
cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the cosmos I
我
say
像宇
hi.
宙问号。看一下这个天空怎样
Pretty.
？Pretty 就是这样吗？只有 pretty 而已吗。昨
The
天
day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone
你有
else?
看到其他人吗？
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
昨天有用望
Once
远
the
镜吗？
stars began to appear, naturally.
For how long?
I can't say. I've been known to
看望远
lose
镜前就
hours at
记
my
不得时
telescope.
间了。
Did you see anything?
No actual discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the astronomy tower. Must have been a while before you found out what
过
had
一段
happened
时
to
间才发
Freya.
现 Freya 出
Quite.
事了。
Normally, I would be the last to find out about such a thing.
照常来
But
说，
a
我是最后一
curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow
奇
tower
异的
later
命
that
运
evening.
之力将你引向了 Flora 塔。
I was at my telescope for the majority of the evening.
晚
But at
上，
one point, I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it. I left my tower and headed down towards the grand hall. I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever then?
Quite. I passed her
他
by
身
and
边
went
走上
upstairs to
去，上
Fiona's
楼
room.
去了
The
Fiona
door
的
was
房间。
locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside. I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
Fiona 跟 Poppy 两个人在房间
I
里
had no desire to invade their
哦，所
privacy
以他
by
上楼之后才会
eavesdropping,
等在门口。
so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask about the book, Poppy grabbed my hand and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had
他们两个不
already
知道
been
为什么
crying
在
about
哭。
something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying
看
on
到
her
Freya
back,
平躺在那
right
边
in the middle of the room. Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did, and then Fiona went
不知道
downstairs
什
with
么
Poppy for some
一
reason.
Fiona
I
跟 Poppy 一
quickly
起下楼。
decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so
为
quickly?
什么这么快就走
Wasn't there
了？
anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family
这一切都是
business.
Fellow 家族的
I'm
事情。
quite sure they don't need me getting in the way at a time like that.
所以这两家族真的有点问题。
A listless soul drifting through the ether.
What's wrong with her?
Not sure. She's always been troubled. Comes
来
from
自
a
一个失能
dysfunctional
的家族，
family.
总是心烦意
I'd say
乱。
you could ask her about it, but I think you might find that to be a bit of a dead end. Hard to read, that one, but she seems to know what she's doing.
She's kind of mean.
You know, I simply assumed all detectives were sharp, rigorous,
所
and
有的
thorough.
侦探都是精心
Then, of
严
course,
谨
I
的
met
细
you.
心。又在呛主角，大家看到都要呛一
I
下主
don't
角。
especially want to talk about myself. Introspection often leads to vanity.
Wait, does it?
等等，
Why
吗？
don't we discuss the moons of Jupiter
我才不
instead?
想知道木星的卫星嘞。
I'm not sure if we have time. Aren't there like 10 of them?
83.
Yeah, we don't have time.
He should learn to make the most of his lot in life. And he does have a lot in life.
You're talking about money?
Among other things, but yes, he currently has agency
Someone
over a
say,
small
"Eat something,
fortune. That is, if he hasn't already
他如果没有挥霍
squandered
掉
it
或是
or
弄丢的
lost
话
it.
You two don't get on?
Oh no, we're the best of friends.
Your best friend.
Nobody
怎么听
could
不出
deny her
来
talent. She was remarkable, artistically gifted, but also highly intelligent.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive, you know.
Was she ever interested in astronomy?
I don't think she was. The fault may well lie with me for failing to inspire her. But I think she was captivated by more tangible things here on
超美与
Earth.
地球上
My
那些更具
daughter
体的
loved
东
her.
西。
Fiona, too. That said, in the last year or so, more and
即使
more
如
I
此，
begun
她这一
to
年
notice
来
her
越
by
常一个
herself,
人待着。
wandering the gardens at the most
花园里面
peculiar
漫步。
hours. She must have explored every inch of the grounds 100 times over. Quite a restless spirit, I think. I'm surprised she chose to live at
他竟
Tangle
然
Tower
选
as
择
long
在
as she
Tangle Tower
did.
住了这么久。他选择在这里。
Ah, Penelope, our resident ornithologist.
Penny's your niece, is that
是你
right?
的侄女对吗
At？this moment in time,
目前是，
until she marries the gardener.
直到她
She'll
嫁给
still
那
be
个
your
园丁。
niece.
But she'll depart from the world of the Pointers and join the Fellows. Like rats deserting a sinking ship.
跳船逃生，所以他对佩妮嫁给园丁这件事情很不高兴。
Ah, yes, the heiress of Tangle Tower. Goodness knows what'll happen when she takes charge. I dare say she'll confiscate my telescope and replace it with a microscope.
She doesn't seem to be the type to impress her will on others.
Still, keep an eye on her.
Keep an eye on
Dangerously
her.
intelligent, that one.
You sound jealous.
聪明到危险
Wait,
的
are
地
you
步。
two science rivals?
Oh no, we operate on very different wavelengths. Literally. What do you want me to say? He's the gardener.
He's a member of the family.
Yeah, but not the Pointer family.
What happened to his parents, do you know?
His father, Flint, is Felix's brother.
Felix the
Strange man. Don't think anybody knows what happened to him, but he certainly doesn't live here anymore.
What about his mother?
Emily? I've not met her. She never actually married into the Fellow family. Her relationship with Flint was, it was short-lived. My Poppy, my pride and joy. Exceptionally talented pianist from a young age. She... Hold on. Why is
为什
she
么
on
在
your
心
list
上
of
名单上没有
suspects?
没有，每个人都
Because
在。
she's a suspect.
Oh no, I can personally vouch for her innocence. She'd never... Well,
Never。
the truth is, she loved Freya very dearly.
非常爱 Freya。
If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Poppy's mother?
Primrose? She was Flora's sister, a Remington by birth.
哦，Flora 的妹
The
妹。
playing field has never really been even since she left.
Where did she go?
Away.
走了，
She went away.
她离开这里了，还是不太清楚她这里的她走了到底是哪一种面向
So
上的。
which one is Tangle Tower?
What's that?
There are two towers, right? Flora's tower and your astronomy tower.
Neither? Truly, I have no idea. You'd have to ask Flora.
She named the house?
The whole thing is a result of her squabbling with her family.
With Felix, you mean? Her husband?
No, her brother and sister, and her father. The Remington family was a rather tumultuous
家族
little
的
unit,
纷
you
争
see.
不断，
I don't think Flora has spoken with any of them in over a decade.
可是他们也都
Not
离开
exactly
了，
a
不在这
wealth
里。
of information, is it?
It's enough.
哎，我真的问了一圈下来，没有人说这个档案是他寄的，哎，不知道到底是谁找
A
的。
very old statue
我
indeed.
觉得有可能是
I'd
菲菲。
recommend you leave it well alone. The poor fellow's in bad enough shape as it is. Isn't the process of
腐烂的
decay
过程很厉害
fascinating?
我觉得还
It's
好。
not really decaying. It's plastic.
It's becoming one with nature, all the same. Where on earth did you find that?
你在哪里
It was
找
in
到
a
它
bush
的？
outside. I think someone threw it away.
How peculiar.
太奇怪了。
I find that painting to be in rather bad taste.
Oh,
粗
yeah?
俗。
The knife with real blood on it? The whole thing is rather vulgar.
他对这幅画的评价很
Here's
不
a
好。
thought. Do you suppose the paintbrush could be the murder weapon? After all, it was found at the scene, right next to Freya's body.
I guess it's possible.
Pointer property originally,
Pointer 家族的财产。
purloined by the
被盗走
fellows. Typical. I haven't seen that tape for a long time.
很久没看到
Who
这个卡
broke
带了
it?。
No idea.
你以前
Ah,
看过这个
well,
卡带？
possessions are fleeting, my friends.
他以前看过这个卡带。
Is this important?
Possibly.
Curious little thing, isn't it? Do you know what she keeps in
知道他
there?
在这里面藏什么
Nothing.
东西吗？
At the moment. It was empty when we opened it.
How bizarre.
Can't a woman keep an empty egg in her room?
That's a very old
这是一
book,
个很
isn't
旧的
it?
书了。
Looks like someone could have taken better care of it.
I like the look of a well-read book. Better than one that's never been opened.
Ah, well put. A diary can be a wonderful outlet for an outpouring of one's soul.
How do you know it's a
怎么知
diary?
道这是日记呢？
I suppose I don't, but it does look like a diary.
发现它这个秘密日记的这个标签啊，跟鸟类书籍的那个标签好像是同一种，颜色不一样。
What's this?
It looks like it might be a
很像
telescope.
望远镜哦。
Thought you might know something about it.
Well, it certainly
它的
is a
确是望远
telescope.
镜，所以它真
It
的
has
是
a
望
part
远镜。
there to screw onto a tripod, you see. It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
所以
No,
那个侦探在说
Probably
谎吗
not.
Fitz seems rather keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
这有什么问题
Well,
吗？
you can't eat it. Makes you wonder why he bothers at all. Curious creature, isn't it?
奇怪的生物
Some
对吧？
sort of amphibious bipedal
双
fish
足
man.
人，
Playing a trumpet.
Playing a trumpet, yes. That's
这个鸟笼
rather
呢
a small cage for 3 birds, isn't it?
的
But
确是有点
then,
太小，
aren't we all trapped in a cage?
活得像是笼中的。
This is supposed to be Felix, is it?
对
I
啊
think，so.
I see he's afforded himself considerable artistic license. This looks a little rushed, even by
有点草率。
Felix's standards.
At least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good for the old fellow to have a hobby. Keeps his mind from decaying,
防止
you
他的
know.
心智僵化。是这样
Yes, very nice. Where is that bird of
那只
Flora's?
鸟在哪
It's？been a while since I've seen
有一
it.
段时间没有看过它，所以大家都知道他以前养了这只鸟。
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden
这只
beetle?
金甲虫怎么啦？
Is
这
this
是
something
你
you're
的研究
studying?
东西吗？
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left
以前
behind
住
by
在
a
Tangle
previous
Tower 的人
inhabitant
留
of
下的
Tangle
东西
Tower.
你确
I'm
定
not the
吗？
first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls.
在大厅里
It
也
was
是
in
在
your
你的天文塔里
astronomy
面
tower.
你确定不解释一下吗？他看来没有跟我们解释的意思。哦，
That's all the statements.
这就是所有的共
Let's
识
go
了。
over them all.
哦，为什么走回来？
That's
可疑的
all
陈
the
述。
statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add
看
up.
看有什么
To
不
see
对
if
劲的。
anyone's been lying.
Fitz and I were up in the Moonlight Garden most of the afternoon.
整个下午
We
都在
heard
月光
this
森林，
sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
持续
We
了大概
thought
3
it
秒
was
钟
coming。from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was
门
answering.
锁着，没有
So I
人
made
回应，
Fitz kick
所以叫
down the
Fitz
door.
踢开了门。
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my
上楼的
ascent,
时候
Professor
，Pointer 角
Pointer
色出现
appeared.。
I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down
哦，
the
这个吧。
stairs. They're just outside my room.
Felix 说他一开始就已经先听到有人跑下去了，可是 Poppy 自己跑下来，所以 Poppy 应该是第2个。那他在他前面下楼的是谁啊？多一个人的脚步声啊！
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase.
然后爬上了
As I was
Felix。
passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
开始
I
变得很
thought she
生
was
气。
playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's
Hello,
father was
Papa,
waiting
Papa.
outside. He followed us
他们一
upstairs.
起上楼，
I ran up the stairs, hoping to
跑上
catch
楼，
up with
希望
him,
能够
but
追上他。
Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to
So
find
that
Professor
is something.
Pointer. So I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then I took a sample of the red
枪
paint
刚
from
未
the
完成画
unfinished
作上的红
painting.
色颜料
She
层
took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told
他想
Detective
回去，然后
Hawkshaw
他就去找
anything.
了侦探。
Unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
太让人失
All
望
the
了。
statements line up with each other.
They don't just line up.
他们说的不仅
Some of
一
them
致，
even
而
seem to
且似乎
specifically
还有专门为
confirm
彼
each
此
other.
证。感到大家有互相讨论过什么吗？ 越听越奇怪了呢。你先去找一下这个侦探吧。先问你，你有没有看过你在找的这个金甲虫？好了。
Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it?
I have several theories, but they are my theories, and I'm not going to
是我
share
的
them.
推论，我不打算分享。
Does Flora still own that
他还
bird?
养着那只鸟
Do you
吗？
know?
Don't think so.
不知道，
The
等好几
drawings are
年
from
前
a
的
few
话。
years ago.
I see.
来问
This little
问，
microscope thing? You said you
是
used it
显
to
微
search
镜
the
吗？你说你来
greenhouse.
搜查
And
卫
this
士
would
的？
make perfect sense. If you knew what my client had asked me to find. Of course, I still have no intention of disclosing that information.
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw.
你真是
Don't
爱
worry,
整人呢。
we already worked out
我
what
已经
you're
知道你在
searching
找
for.
什么了。金甲虫，
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So, that's what you were looking
这
for
是
in
你
the
在卧室要
greenhouse?
找的东西吗？
This beetle?
Surely even you can understand the logic of it. The greenhouse is home to a great
那里有许
many
多昆虫。
insects. The
也许
gardener
金
could
甲
have
虫就在那
easily
边。
kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned
说
him,
你盘问
but
过他，
didn't
但是其实没有
actually
搜
search
查
the
过这个温
greenhouse.
室，
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety.
所以他的
He
确去过
simply
吗？
didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact she didn't
我
use the
可以确
microscope in the
定
greenhouse.
他没用，这个根本就不
It's
是
not a
显微镜。
microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
手持显微镜，按照菲菲所说，用了一个望远镜头。所以说，哈莎说了
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens, so Hawkshaw lied about it. I'm inclined to believe Fifi
倾向
when
于
it
相
comes
信
to
菲
stuff
菲。
like this.
Hawkshaw,
为什么
why
要
did
谎
you
称
lie
自
about
己
owning a
有？
telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to become?
当你还是孩子的时候，想要
A
成为什么？
detective? Naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy?
银河系
I
之王，
wanted to be
帅
an
啊！
astronomer.
Really?
天文学
I
家。
harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me. And so, I became a
成为一
detective.
名侦探。
But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but
离
we're
题
way
了，
off
这个
track.
小望远镜
What's
是
the
怎么回
deal
事
with the
啊？
little telescope?
A memento from my childhood.
童年时候的一个
Little
纪
more
念
than a
品，
toy.
不过只是一
Why
个玩
did you
具
bring
而
it
已。
with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me,
发现你的雇
I
主是
dared to
Pointer
consider
教
it
授的时候
something，of a planetary alignment. I had hoped he might sign my
希望他
telescope.
可以在你的望远镜上
An
面签名。
extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you
所以你
didn't
承
use
认
it
你
in
没
the
有在
greenhouse
温室里
then?
面用过？
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a
他不
suspect in
觉
our
得
theft
园丁是
investigation.
这起窃案
So, who
窃
is
案
your suspect?
Things have become complicated. My lead suspect is your murder victim.
头号嫌疑者是 Freya，他是要找窃案诶，所以是曾经有这个金甲虫，可是金甲虫不见了。去问一下 Fitz， 你知道关于金甲虫的事情吗？
I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a difference between that
但是
and
这跟真
actual
金是有
gold.
区别的。
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside the earth or whatever. You can't make it. That's called alchemy.
这是所谓
It was
的
a whole
炼
thing.
金术。这个沉
Did
默
Freya draw these?
应该
Yeah.
是吧？
There's a note in the back, too.
She was even closer to
他
Flora
比我
than I
想象中更
realized.
接近 Flora。聊一下
I
Pointer 教授。
imagine you don't visit the astronomy tower too often, do you?
No, but I still see Pointer, sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse.
对温室里面
Asks
所
me
有东
about
西
the
很好
birds,
奇。
too, and insects.
会
He's
问
pretty
你，
clued up on his evolutionary biology.
他很精通他那套进化的生物学，所以他其实对生物学也很有研
I
究
didn't，think there was much overlap between
不
astronomy
是
and
他只说的天
biology.
文学。也许这个人不像他表面上看起来那么疯疯癫癫。来问一下你爸。
Eavesdrop
偷
what the
听星
stars
星的
are
低语，
saying.
城市的羁
Earthly
绊
tether,
缓缓消磨殆尽。嫉妒的饥饿，自私的渴望，是因为对饥饿的感觉漂泊无助。播出时间，跪地认识在你脚边绽放的花朵。什么？How sweet. That's sweet.这附近有一些奇怪的昆虫，但是我从来没有看过它长什么样子。
Freya might have.
Freya 可能见过。
She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
哦对，有说过 Freya 会跟那个谁啊 ？Freya 会跟 Fitz 就跟那个园丁收集他那边的甲虫。
For fun, obviously.
It's that bird.
是那只鸟
drawn at least a year ago.
超过了1年以上。
How sad.
这个金甲虫你知道吗
？Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is
这是
this?
谁的研究呢
We were hoping you might know.
我们还以为你会知道。
No, can't say I. Freya, perhaps.
也许是 Freya。
I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
Can't say I've ever taken an interest in Uncle's astronomy. On occasion, I've dared to visit him in his tower.
说去他台边看
I
他，
always
每次都
regret
感
it.
觉很后
It's all
悔。
just a little too abstract for me.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you know the sun is
然后太阳
apparently
似乎
over
有64万公
400,000
里远吗
miles wide? Okay, so what should I do
该
with
怎么
that information?
处理这
How
个
does
资
it
讯？这个有
help
什么帮助
me?
呢？
Don't look at me. You're the one who memorized it.
对，有一个东西刚我一直忘记看了。要看这个啦，
Every astronomy tower needs a
望远
telescope.
镜。
I want to try.
我想看一下。啊，这个望远镜，
I can just about see the sky behind the tower.
这个望远镜直直的看着 Flora 塔。
I can't get the telescope to look up any higher.
Weird.
Is that a
这是一
window?
个窗户吗？所以这个上面是还有一个房间的嘛，对吧？
I think it is.
Is there another room
那
above
时候看那个
Flora's
眼
room?
睛就觉得怪怪的，上面感觉
We
应该
should
还有另外一
check
个
that
房
next
间，
time we're over there. You can see right
可以
into
直接看
Flora's
到
room.
Flora 的房间。
Not by accident.
这不是偶
I
然
can see
的。
Flora, but she's not looking this way. She's looking up.
他感觉 Flora 应该是真的在找墨迹
Behind
鸟
her
之
is
类
the
的。
back side of the easel holding Freya's unfinished painting. I can't really see
这个角
anything
度看不清
behind
楚它的另一
it.
端
Not
是
from
什么
this angle.
It's that little plant Flora keeps on the window ledge.
那个小植物，
Don't you think it would fall off?
Maybe it's glued
也
down.
许它粘在窗台上。
I can just about see the gramophone.
看到留声机，
I can see the doorway. It leads into the hall. The door itself is on the floor, knocked
铰链
off its
上破了。
hinges.
大概就是这样。
Trees, for some reason.
It's too dark back
后
there.
面太暗
I
了，什么都
can't
看不
really
到。
see anything.
Isn't
大
this
概
supposed to be an
就这样。
astronomy telescope?
这不是应该是天文望远镜吗？为什么是
I'm
望着
pretty
人
sure you
家
need to see the
Flora
sky
的房
for
间呢？
astronomy to work.
I can't move it. I think this is just how it's
它
set
本来
up.
就设置的无法移动。
There's something about Pointer's
它天文
astronomy
四号
habits.
怪怪的啊！你好像
Something
不
suspicious.
是在看天
Let's
空，
ask him
是
about
在看着 Flora 呀。
So, Professor, what interests you about astronomy exactly?
为什么那么感兴
It's
趣呢
not？a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be
就
unexpanded.
很难收回来了。
And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
这什么事
Why
啊？
do you ask me these things?
I have a theory about you,
对你有一个
Professor.
猜测啊。
Go on.
你并不是真的对天文学感兴趣吧？
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're
你
interested
感兴趣的应该
in
是
a
另外一个
slightly
稍微不
different
同的研究
field
领
of
域。
research.
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why
这
you
就
like
是
using
你
your
这么喜欢
telescope
用
so
望远
much.
镜的原因。
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that.
说到这个 Pointer 的望远镜，实际是在看犯罪现场，而不是对准天
Pointer's
上。
telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of what? Spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's a very precious specimen, incredibly rare, valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around, both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
No, I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora 已经躺在地板上。Flora 躺在地板上。
You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window.
Flora
I
躺在
couldn't
窗
see
边。
Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement,
这样你的共
doesn't it?
识就变
No,
了一点。
everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
再回顾一下犯罪现场已知的状况。
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think?
是怎么
Was
想的
Freya stabbed by her own
Freya 是
painting?
被自己的画给刺死的吗？肯定不是吧。颜料罐里的血用来画某物的红色尖端，那个东西是画里面的墨姬鸟羽毛。为了看起来像是一把带血的
Blood
刀
from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm
不
disappointed
知
or
道应该是
relieved.
要失望还是
I
要
have a
释怀呢？
Why?
到底是怎么
Either
回
it's
事
a？very strange coincidence, or somebody set it
有
up.
人刻意安排成
Somebody
这样。
deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why?
为什
To
么要
distract
转移我们的
us?
注意力吗？
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could
Flora
have
是
hidden
唯
the
一
feather,
能够把羽毛藏
unless
起来的人，
someone
除
took
非
it
有
from
人
her.
从他那边拿
Let's go
走。
over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time.
门一直锁着。
It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be
一般来
opened
说
from
只
the
能从里面把
inside.
它打开。
Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he
他没
did
看
see
到
Flora
Freya
lying by the window.
看到
So
Flora
whatever
躺
got
在床前，
Freya got Flora too.
Except Flora survived.
是
She
Flora
didn't
活
get
下来的，
stabbed
没有像
like
Freya 一样
Freya
那样被
did.
刺伤。
Hold on. If there was no knife,
如果
then
没有
what
刀
did
是什
stab
么刺
Freya?
杀了
It
Freya？
could be anything.
还是他们是
It
被
might not
叫
even
声
be
吓到，
important.
所以坐
How
在
is it
那
not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what and more interested in the
如何
how.
刺杀？
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing
但是
right
他
up by
站
the
在画
canvas.
布的旁边。
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in
但
line with the
是完
painting.
全平躺，
Maybe something went through it.
Through the
穿
painting?
透了画作。
Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed
怎
before
么
she
知道
fell
他是
over?
在跌倒前被
Maybe
刺
her
杀的？
being
也
stabbed
许
and
刺
her
杀跟
falling
跌倒
over
两
are
件事情完全无
completely
关，
unrelated.
也是有可能啦。
It's a bird bath. Is that just rain?
birds seem to-
They're even singing a little tune.
Please don't do that.
感觉这个就很重要啊，之后可能会用到。那这次其实我们整理了蛮多线索的，然后发现了2个在说谎的家伙，戳破了他们的谎言，然后确认了那个另外一个侦探拿的，它是一个望远镜，然后是为了要调查说 Pointer 教授他遗失的金甲虫的标本，然后 Pointer 教授觉得拿走那个金甲虫的人是 Freya， 所以他一直在监视着 Flora 塔，然后案发现场的时候他刚好在看着那边，然后他没有看到 Freya， 可是看到 Flora 躺在地上，也许是那个时候不是发出了尖叫声吗？不是尖叫声，然后那尖叫声有可能是金甲虫发出的嘛？因为说金甲虫会有一个很大的叫声之类的，感觉有点扑朔迷离哦。对，而且 Flora 塔顶端似乎还有一个密室存在，可能我们下一次可以去找找看那个密室到底里面有什么东西。 那现在的话，我们已经大致把所有可以看的人都看完了，可是我们还有一些房间没有去搜寻，可能下一次的时候我们就去搜寻看看吧。那暂时这一次还有什么消息？我看一下，还有 Pointer 教授，他说他是天文学家，可是事实上他是在研究昆虫的，所以他对昆虫也很有了解。越来越多线索了，不知道之后到底会是怎么样的发展。那我们这次的 Tangle Tower 就到这里结束啦。那大家喜欢的话，记得帮我点个喜欢，也不要忘记帮我订阅跟分享，还有在下面留一下你们觉得说到底还有哪些地方是值得分析或是值得记录的。好啦，那我们就下次 Tangle Tower 再见啦，大家拜拜。感谢大家把影片看到最后。那我平常除了 YouTube 会上传影片之外呢，也会在 Nonolive 直播。那我的 ID 的话是84385559。那至于相关的下载链接呢，我会放在下面的置顶留言，大家记得可以去下载，一起来看直播哦。